Hi, my name is Lee Heron. I'm a personal injury lawyer here in Florence, South Carolina. And the name of this video is, What Happens Next? Now, if you watched our last What Happens video, in that video we were talking about comparative negligence. And just as a brief recap, comparative negligence means you can contribute to your own accident and still possibly recover money because you compare the negligence of the parties. Well, I want to talk to you today about a situation that comes up all the time. And those of you that watch my other videos, you know what an artist I am. But here's what we've got here. We got a rear end collision. In this car, in the front car, we got 4 people. We got the driver and 3 passengers. The car that hits them, that causes the accident, has the mandatory minimum insurance coverage. And if you watch my other videos, you know in South Carolina that mandatory minimum insurance coverage is $25,000. But on your policy, you always see a second number. In this one, you see 2550. It's 25,000, 50,000. If you pull out your card, you'll see the same thing. If you have 25,000, 50,000, you may have 50,000, 100,000, 100,000, 300,000. They go up. I want to talk to you about what that second number means and how it affects everything. But here's what we got. In this car, they all go to the emergency room. The driver goes to the emergency room and has $5,000 in emergency room bills. Passenger, front seat passenger, $5,000 in emergency room bills. Back seat passenger, $20,000 in emergency room bills. And this guy gets hurt really bad. He has $100,000 just in medical bills. And we got this guy who has the mandatory minimum insurance, $25,000, $50,000. So what happens next? Well, here's what's going to happen. That $50,000, that means the most, regardless of how many people were in the car that got hit, $50,000 has to get split up. But the most one person can get is $25,000. I'll say that again. The second number is the total amount of coverage that can be split up among the parties, regardless of how many people are in the car. This guy could have had 10 people in the car, and that $50,000 would have to get split up had to get split up 10 different ways. The most one person can get is $25,000. So I think we can agree that the guy that has $100,000 in bills, he should get his full share of $25,000 because that's the most he can get. That's the most he could possibly get. Now the other $25,000, that is going to have to get split up 3 ways. It's going to have to get split up among the other people that were in the car. Now some of you might be asking, well, how do you do that? Well, there's really no hard and fast rule as to how you do that, but usually what we do is we just take the medical bills, assign a percentage according to each person, and split it up that way. So in this case, because we got to split up the $25,000, because this guy's taken care of, or taken care of as much as the law will allow him to be taken care of, this guy will probably get most of that $25,000, and these people will probably share the remainder. Now some of you might be saying, so you're telling me that a guy that has $100,000 in bills is only getting $25,000? Yes. That's what it means. Happens all the time. Another question you might be asking yourself is, well, can't you sue this person and get more money? I'll say absolutely. I could sue this guy, the guy that caused the accident. I could take this guy that has $100,000 in bills and we can go to trial. We can get a $400,000 judgment. It'll be a piece of paper that says this person owes this guy $400,000. The point is, most people are judgment proof. There's nothing you could do legally to get any more money from them. So we're usually stuck as to how much insurance coverage they have. Hopefully, this guy watched one of my other videos. The name of that video was, this video is worth $25,000. Hopefully, he watched that video and he called his insurance company that day. And he made sure that he had UIM coverage, underinsured motorist coverage. Because if he's got that, then there's a possibility he can get more insurance from his own insurance company. Maybe this guy's got $20,000 in bills. He's not getting fully compensated either. Hopefully he's got underinsured motorist coverage. There may be underinsured motorist coverage on this car that's available. But I want you to keep in mind one thing. Even though we drew it out real simple and it's a general principle, insurance adjusters do not have any obligation to you to explain any of this stuff to you. So if for some reason they could get this guy who has $100,000 in bills, if they could get him to accept $15,000 in settlement, for some reason this guy didn't call a lawyer and he said, oh, $15,000, yeah, I'll take it. They've saved themselves $10,000 right there just with this one guy. And they have done a good job, because that's the insurance adjuster's job, to try to keep as much money for the insurance company as they possibly can. A personal injury lawyer's job is to get you as much money as we possibly can. So please keep in mind, if you've been involved in a car accident, you need to let someone that's qualified, you need to let somebody that's experienced handle your personal injury matter, because there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that insurance companies will simply not explain to you. Well, that's the end of the video, and you know what I'm about to say. Personal injury lawyers like me are everywhere. But the thing that separates me from most personal injury lawyers is ever since I became a lawyer, one of the last things I do before a client leaves my office, take out my business card. On the back of that business card, I write down my personal cell phone number. Give it to the client and say, look, if you ever have any problems, if you ever have any questions, feel free to call or text me at any time. Shouldn't your personal injury case get that kind of personal attention? If you've been involved in a car accident, give me a call at 888-9REC9. It's a free consultation. If you don't get anything, you don't owe us anything. So give me a call at 888-9REC9, and I'll make sure your personal injury case gets the personal attention it deserves.